kind of seem part of the dark age of your story. Tell us a little bit about that.
The dark age, the dark side. It was a time where I felt grown. You know, it was a time where I felt need to find myself and find myself in my environment. And you ever heard the term product of your environment? I became that. You know, and as we know, you know, the product of my environment was drugs, thugging, home not stable. All those accumulated into me starting my dark age, which came to the point when I was 18. 17. I got locked up for guns and weed charges, and it was a turning point. I started to distance I started to lose myself from the fallout. I started to lose myself from the positive influences in my life, and started to be a lone wolf, but only biting myself in the ass,
Yeah.
But
and then at 17, you ended up being about 2 years in jail, right?
Yep, 23 months.
And during that time, I know there's a lot of, really, self-reflecting.
Yep, a lot.
And so you come out of spending 23 months in jail as a young man, okay? Kind of went in a boy, left a man.
Yep.
You know. And so so now you're at the age of 19, and that first day you come out, what are your plans and what opportunities are there out there for you?
Well, when you're getting released, you start to make plans. It was a scary moment because this is what I was used to. It was like, who's different and how will I keep up? And I became conscious of myself, and it was like, if I was going to change, I was going to have to change myself. So I began to make my plan was for school, find myself with a good community, find myself in my faith with God, because that's where I found Him then. So if I cannot keep Him on the outs, how will I keep Him on the end? When I'm locked up.
Right.
And a big thing was He'll always be there with me through those trials to get my school done, to get my job, and get a career going, and get a good relationship with my family, and get a good home where I can be able to grow, be able to be safe, be able to have a good community around. And when I got out, those was my plans, and I gravitated back towards the fallout. I started to come around and section myself in where there's immersion again, and started coming to the Wednesday Bible studies, and that's where it came. I actually met you at the annex. It was out of nowhere. It was 3 months after I got out, and I came to you, and I was like, Peter, I'm sorry for all the things I did, and it was like, I want to grow. I want to do things different. I want to have somebody to coach me. I want to have a good environment.
Yeah, and to your credit, because we also were around in those 16, 17-year-old
exactly.
years.
I was also around that time.
So we were
everybody had their history. Everybody had their bite for me.
And so when you came back, I was like, Jeremy, I'm excited where you're at, but you know what? I got to see something. And so I said, you can start coming around. You can't move into the Josh house right away, because basically we got to have some trust built up. And to your credit, you kept coming around, and you kept. I wanted to see some positive things, and you started serving. And then just recently, you moved into the Joshua house. And last week, you what happened?
I finished my GED.
That's very sweet.
That was the biggest thing. That was the biggest highlight. That was the biggest thing that could.
And this is about a year anniversary.
Yeah.
When after you get out of jail.
Yeah. And
so you're in the Josh house. You finish your GED. So what are your goals now?
Now is college. Now is get deeper. Is now that you got this far. You go further. And then you take the steps you need, and you concentrate on not taking steps back.
Yeah.
And you figure out what's next. In your life, you're gonna have to move up. So college is next to me, and a relationship with my family is next to me. thicker relationships with the fallout, you know, just volunteering more and not just coming on Wednesdays and trying to just eat and listen to the word, but actually give the word and talk to some people about what I feel, because this testimony is the first time I did this with a lot of people, and it's mainly been you know, and now we finally got something to see, you know, something to show.
Yeah.
But growing, you know, I'm in a place where I can grow, so growing is my plan.
But Jeremy, good job. We're so excited for you, and it's fun to have young men around with some history. Look at those pipes, baby.
I know, baby. That's the push-ups.
Those aren't 12-year-old pipes.
That's the burpees, man. That's the bench presses. But yeah, I'm proud to be here, and I thank God that I'm here. You know, it's a place where I feel like I'm growing. You know?
And there's, you know, Jeremy, it's beyond what you even know that God has planned for you. I'm confident of that.
That's right.
He redeems our lives, and buddy, I've told you this before. Most young men with your history, with the settings, with the environment that you were dealt, you know, have a life of bad choices and a life of consequences. And to credit to your own character, but also to a God that redeems our stories and gives us second chances.
That's right.
And it's an honor for us to be part of your life. I'm really glad you're at the Joshua House.
I'm really glad you're around. Thank you, Pete.